these things can become quite aggressive right now, especially in a situation like this. So he's probably never seen a human. Yeah, but he definitely ducked in here somewhere, because we would have seen his track before then. See, that looks like a cow track.
Going down.
Maybe it was a cow. Maybe that track just slipped in the mud, made it look big. There's a road that's right over there. Let's head to it.
Right now, outfitter Nathan Terrio's main concern is the swirling winds.
We got wind blowing this way, wind blowing this way.
And after discussing the situation with his clients, they come up with a new game plan.
My thoughts are, if this was my hunt, I'd jump in that truck and I would go and I'd drive around, maybe try to spot one for tomorrow, or maybe find one and try to get on him right before dark, try to call him in, see what happens, you know?
I mean, my theory is you're not going to shoot anything from camp. I mean, literally.
Oh yeah, we're not going to camp. Yeah, you could. And you could eat good doing it.
Only a few miles away, OMM guide Ken Mayo has knots in his stomach. Earlier, he put his client on a massive Maine moose, but the shot landed high.
Dead center on, buddy.
Now, after 3 hours of searching, he has to accept the reality both he and his clients have been dreading. The beast they were chasing is long gone with nothing more than a flesh wound, and no amount of optimism will allow them to find him down just over the next hill. Early the next morning, Ken and his clients head out just as daylight begins to break, and they're spotting a moose on the move.
They're moving. Yes, finally. It's on.
Well,
That's encouraging right there, boys. Single bull like that. He was grunting too when he was walking. He was grunting.
But despite all the activity they witnessed from the road, attracting the attention of a distant bull in the falling rain proves to be more difficult than they initially expected.
All right, we're back at the spot where we had a bull wind us down here. I saw a little skipper on the way in, and saw a 45 on the way in. So they're definitely moving, and we're gonna get up here, do some calling, and see what happens.
Rutting bull moose are short-tempered. Dominant bulls won't put up with intruders in their area. Ken is doing everything he can to drive a big moose crazy with rage. Crazy enough that he lets his guard down. But right now, all the grunting and scraping isn't working.
Nice spot down here.
We've seen a lot of nice spots.
I know.
There's just
not a lot of rut activity.
No real fresh from today tracks.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll get them. We'll get them.
Back in Zone 1, Nathan has dropped his client right on top of a bull. Yesterday, his client was dead set on filling his tag with a bow. But after some consideration of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, he's carrying a rifle today. And this client has decided this is the bull he wants. Coming up.
We're gonna ease over this hill. Try to make a stand, see if we can't call in some deer.
The Whitaker brothers head down to Old Mexico in search of a mule deer and desert bighorns. But they find much more. After a successful week in bear camp, the brothers load up and leave New Mexico for Old Mexico. After weeks of frustration, Josh is finally able to get rid of the neck brace he got earlier this year.
My brother and I was lion hunting in New Mexico. I was on a mule and she was green, and she just blew up and pile drive me into the ground, and it knocked me out for a little bit. And I came to, and my brother was there on the ground, scared him to death. He said, "I guarantee you broke your neck." And I mean, it was hurting bad, really bad. And I ended up walking out on foot for over a mile, got the lion out. My wife took me to the emergency room, and I broke my C1 in 2 places. Just miserable.
As soon as they get to camp, the twins don't waste any time putting their clients on animals.
Nosotros matar un macho aquí año pasado.
But the unusual season has kept the rutting activity to a minimum.
Why can't the 210 just be standing there right now? I mean, really? He's somewhere with that many girls. He's somewhere. We have no rut. I mean, we're seeing very little rut. So it just makes it... It's really discouraging because this country's so thick. I mean, we're seeing quite a few does, but there's no rut right now, so... It's not overly hot. I mean, the weather's just kind of normal for what it is down here, but discouraging for sure. But it can change overnight, so we'll just keep checking all these does we're finding. Hopefully something big will pull in on them. We're gonna ease over this hill. Try to make a stand, see if we can't call in some deer. Eric, we'll probably just set up there, maybe throw the call on the other side. We got the wind, so. Caminando. La chico loma aquí.
In this part of Mexico, the mule deer respond dramatically to calling, and Josh wastes no time getting he and his client Eric into position to bring one of these desert muleys running out of the brush.
See if you can't get comfortable right there. We'll have to stand up. I'll set this call out.
Josh sets the electronic call in front of their setup, and Eric moves into position. In this thick country, when action happens, it happens fast. Confused, this buck has no idea he's walked right into an ambush. Lucky for him, Eric has a different caliber of animal on his mind.
That was cool. These fox pros are unbelievable. You ever had that work with a lone buck like that? Yeah, actually have. Wow. Yeah. I've probably, I don't know, I bet I've called 8 or 10 solos before. I mean, that was bow range. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was 25, 30 yards.
Coming up, Nathan drops his client within bow range of a North Maine bull moose, but he finds they aren't the only ones interested in their trophy.
This place is full of moose. Full of moose in here.
Back in Maine, OMM guide Ken Mayo is having a rough morning.
So it's a nice spot down here.
I've seen a lot of nice spots.
I know.
He and his client had high hopes as they drove to their first setup this morning.
They're moving. Yes, finally. It's on.
The moose were on the move as the rain settled in.
That's encouraging right there, boys. Single bull like that. He was grunting too when he was walking. He was grunting.
But as the day progresses, the activity continues to fall, and Ken's stress level begins to rise.
That's all right. We'll get him. All right. We'll get him.
Nearby in Zone 1, Nathan's dropped his client right on top of a bull moose. It only takes a couple calls, and this bull's committed to investigate closer. Nathan knows there are bigger moose in this area, but after more than a decade of waiting, his client has zero interest in leaving Maine with an unfilled tag.
We got out here. This is the spot we had scouted in.
As they celebrate the shot, Nathan hears something ahead.
We put a lot of hours in the plane and I don't know how many miles hiking trying to find these spots here.
It's not long before the bull Nathan heard earlier was heading in to investigate the smell of his client's trophy.
This place is full of moose in here.
As docile as they often seem, a 1,000-pound moose is considered one of the most dangerous animals in North America.
He's probably never seen a human. These things can become quite aggressive right now, especially in a situation like this, so. Nice job, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Luckily, this bull leaves without incident, giving Nathan and his hunters the chance to take their bull to the nearest check-in station, 3 hours away. On their way back to camp, Nathan meets up with Ken Mayo, and he has a surprise for him.
How's the day been going for you?
Not too bad. Started off real good. 45, 48-inch bull right off the bat. Right in the middle of the road, grunting his head off. First light right there. As we were coming down the road, actually. And he stood right there. And once we realized it wasn't anything we wanted, gave him a cow call, and he started walking right towards the truck.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We're gonna go up in there. Hopefully the wind's good. I mean, there's a bunch of directions they could come.
After
from,
he gets his bull, there's a small one. I walk down to the camp, and there's another one chasing a cow around Racker. And then when I cut the urine sac out, I dumped it over a pit.
Yeah.
And he must have pinpointed that smell. He was up on top of the hill, and he was just ripping grunts. The boss.
He was mad.
Yeah, he was mad.
Wow. So yeah, we're
Here,
gonna go back up there.
You can grab it. I'll give you the honors.
I got some gloves smell just like it if you
I
need
say my jacket still smells
Right under that paddle, bub.
There it is. Oh, buddy. Hey, can I have the Fox Pro tube?
Yeah, you want it?
Yeah.
Well, what am I gonna use? You don't like my first part call?
I don't like it as much. I think that one sounds better.
It.
You want this one?
Taking all my calls.
Oh.
Taking my bull urine.
Yeah.
Don't use too much. Dude, I'm telling you, you dump a little of that in the pits, they're gonna come over there and they're gonna tear it up.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna get run over by them.
Yeah, we're gonna put a little.
You know what's good? If you mix a little Jack Daniels on ice, that works real good.
It's a quick shooter with it.
Problem is, if you drink too much, the next year you start making your own pits. People look at you a little funny.
Coming up,
Third day in, and it's just, boy, it's been tough.
Josh is frustrated with the slow rutting activity in Mexico. But another hunter in camp brings in something that gives he and his client an extra push for the afternoon.
It's just not really working this morning. We've seen a few deer, but nothing. We're not finding a mature bucks. They're not with the does yet. We're not seeing any rut. So we're gonna get up high and up on this ridge right here. And I'm gonna get the doctors out and see if we can't find something. Just moving across the desert. Try to get Eric in on it.
After a slow morning in the Mexican brush country, outfitter Josh Whitaker and his client head back to the lodge to meet up with another hunter who had better luck.
I was pretty excited at that point. I couldn't tell what was going on.
It didn't matter. He's dead. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's go see him. It's killing me.
Okay.
We gotta hear the story. I want to hold some bone. Nice.
That is a beautiful deer. Way to go, Glenn.
Nice. Dandy.
Pretty deer, isn't he?
Uh-huh.
That was amazing, that buck that came into that collar. I mean, Mike turned it on and he was there. He just marched right in like, where are you? And he stood right there.
And that buck followed us up there. And he was standing behind us, downwind behind us when we were calling. Drove down the road and went over on that side.
Got him. But in the beginning, he was with does for sure.
And the first glimpse I got of him, he definitely had his head down behind the doe. I couldn't pick out his horn. That's got to be a buck. Like, already knew it was a buck. But, he had his head down and followed.
Well, that kind of ups everybody's spirits a little bit. Glenn killing a deer, because it's been tough hunting this week. We're third day in, and it's just, boy, it's been tough. Very, very difficult. But that's part of desert hunting, you know, Mexico mule deer, free range. We have nothing to do with high fence, so this free range stuff is hard. There's no guarantees. But since Glenn seems really, really pleased, happy with his deer, and that's what means everything to my brother and I. So we're tickled. I mean, he's happy, everybody's happy, so we'll just keep plugging along, see if we can't kill some more. So we're gonna do quite a bit of calling for a few hours, and then when it gets late, we'll go head towards that water. So that's the plan for tonight. So we'll gather everybody up and head north. See you guys.
Heading back into the brush, Josh has a plan. But as they move closer to their intended location, they spot something on the hillside.
Pretty good looking deer. Not real wide. There he goes. Oh, those couple of does. This guy likes him. You like him? It's up to you. I like him. Let's kill him. All right.
Next week, the Whitakers continue their charge through the Mexican desert brush country.
Right there.
And mule deer aren't the only animals in their sights. Then, in North Maine, OMM guide Ken Mayo leads his clients straight to the bull they've been looking for.
Come on.
And this time, he might be closer than they bargained for.
Give him again, buddy. Give him again.